Hello. With daylight savings, it's already dark. It was dark when I left work. It's so depressing. Feels later than it is. Today is your twin little brother's birthday? So would that be your birthday too? Oh, twin little brothers, plural, birthday. Happy birthday to them. Like, if he's your twin brother, isn't it your birthday too? Stupid. Okay, I'm making an event for next week. I might have to change next week. I think I'm good for Thursday. I might have a meeting at work, but I don't know yet, so I'm just going to say next Thursday. And Diary Detectives were... My computer's yelling at me. I think it's okay. Diary Detectives, we're going to have a video meeting on Monday. I think it's Monday, right? The 10th. Okay, next Thursday is November 13th. There we go. Okay. Yeah, younger brothers. That makes sense. YouTube channel is also called Things Lost and Found. If you go on my TikTok page, there's a link tree in my bio. It's like a link you click on. It has a bunch of other links that pop up. And there is a direct link to the YouTube channel in there, but it's just called the same thing, Things Lost and Found. I don't know if it's like, let me see. It's at Things Lost and Found with no spaces, all lowercase. Which I think is the same as YouTube. They're 15. Happy birthday. We're going to read October today. Yeah, definitely subscribe on YouTube too. Right now I just post I streamed there too, but I just post the replays there. I was posting just strictly YouTube videos for a little bit, but I fell off the wagon and this has become kind of just my thing, doing the lives, but it will be there if TikTok ever goes away. I don't know if that's still like a concern or what, but the last time it went away, it was only for like 8 hours or something, right? Everyone got so prepared. And then it was like a day. Alright, I think that I am all set up. I was getting the stream going on YouTube. So we're reading through October 1899. There's a picture of Myrtie up in the corner for those of you that don't know her yet. I did look something up right before we came on. Carly had sent in the Diary Detectives group chat that we have that she was wondering if James Martin, who we read about last week, he unfortunately passed away during the diary, and Myrtie went to his funeral. His name, James Martin, some of her students from this, hold on, I gotta find it, this document that we found are Martins. So Carly was wondering if they were his sons, and I looked it up, and yes, they are, which is sad. This was years before, but, yeah. I think one of the sons was, I just looked it up, and I forget, but one of them was 17, so probably just about to leave the one-room schoolhouse. That seems like kind of old from what I would guess, but to be still doing school, I guess, back then, but no, maybe not. This is the schoolhouse that she taught in. Maybe this is one of them. One of the Martin boys. Hey, Lil Bort. This is also the same school without the child in front. That was in 1900, so that is pretty much the year of the diary. We're in 1899, but same diff. This is cool because the doors are open. You can see in. I don't think the building is still there. I tried to look on Google Earth, and it didn't seem like where it was plotted on the map it was anymore. So this is real history, the history of the people. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's just like a slice of life. I like that it's just random people. living their life. And every once in a while, we find a tidbit that we can connect to a newspaper article or a tree on Ancestry. It's just fun. It's like a mystery. Okay, let's start reading October. I think we'll probably get through all of October today. Father, mother, and I at home. I have a picture of her dad. I should show the pictures I have more often because I know some people come in and out and aren't here every week. Ooh, oh, hold on. I accidentally just zoomed in crazy. Okay. I wanted to just zoom into this one. Why is it not doing it? Hold on. Usually if I do, okay, I don't know why it was doing that. It was zooming into both of my windows, not just one. That's her dad, Benjamin. He's a reverend. And it was actually a picture of them together, but I split them up. But there they are. What you're doing is so cool. I've never seen a live like this. Thank you. Yeah, it is. It's pretty unique. I don't know how many other people, there are lots of people who research old diaries, but I don't know how many go on live stream like this. It's fun. It's different. Father, mother, and I at home. We did not go to church. Scandal. We stayed at home all night. Yeah, it was kind of like, oh, I still have my coat. I just got home from work. It was kind of difficult to figure out a format for live streams that would work well because for a while I was coming on and just like talking about some of the diaries that I was reading or doing a little like side research on some of the people or things that happened, but it's like sometimes that you find something and sometimes you don't, and it sometimes feels like there's a lot of pressure. Ow, my hand. There's a lot of pressure to like find the thing that you're looking for if you're on live stream and like people are just kind of like waiting. And sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. And when it doesn't, it feels very like I don't know. It just makes me feel like, I don't know, pressured, I guess. But this format is great because there's always a guaranteed thing to do, just transcribing and talking to you guys. And it's not like there's dead air. You know, like I am not someone who can just, which is probably surprising because sometimes I do just like randomly go on tangents, but I can't just like fill the time with small talk. If we start reading, it gives something to do. I don't know why I'm even talking about this, but yeah, I don't know. This format works because we read through the entries, and then if there's something interesting to look up, we do that, but there's no pressure to just like if we're not finding something, we just go back to doing the entries. But the question is, how did I get into this hobby? I found a diary from 1917 at an estate sale. And then I started reading it just for fun and realized that the lady who wrote it, she was 17 at the time. She was a prominent family, from a prominent family in Brooklyn. And there was a lot of articles and things that I could find about her. So I don't know why I'm kind of like stumbling over my words right now. But I started researching her, and her life was very interesting. So it kind of like springboarded it. And then after piecing together so much of her story, I started to look for other diaries that I could read, and that's just kind of how it started. And do I take requests? I don't know what kind of requests you mean, but I'm always open to requests, yes. And I'm 20, how old am I? 28. My grandmother has so many diaries she kept for everyone but herself. Oh. You mean diaries of her own? Or other people's diaries? I'm curious. Or you mean she kept them for other people, like she wrote the diaries for others, not for her? I love researching ancestry and such. Reading old newspapers is fun because they say things like Ann Jones went to Boston to see her sister. Yeah, like little things like that. Oh, this person has the flu. Okay. Though, back then, having the flu, I mean, it could go either way, right? Like, so it's more important. Fellow historian, love what you're doing. Thank you. I can't call myself a historian, but a hobbyist historian, definitely. How old was she when she wrote this? This one, so this is Myrtie Wheeler. She was 32 when she wrote this diary. She wrote what her grandkids did. Oh, that's really cute. That must be sad, though, if you're reading through it, like, she doesn't give a piece of her life. I would want to know more about her, but that's sweet. Father carried me to my school. She's a teacher. And the schoolhouse that I showed before is where she taught. It was called Schoolhouse Number 7, or the Morse School, named after a family who lived next to it. Maybe it was on their property, I don't know, but it was the Morse School. Okay. Father carried me to my school. She means that he took her in the horse and buggy. Horse-drawn carriage. I taught school. Stayed all night at H.W. Towns. H.W. Towns, his name is Henry William Town. He is a father of one of her students. And I guess back then it was a common practice for teachers to stay at the homes of family members. I mean, of students. I find it strange, but she does, like, pay them some sort of rent. She mentions it a couple of times in the diary. I guess it's so that she doesn't have to go far from school. Like, maybe he lives closer to school. He's actually related to Towns, married into the Morse family, and the school is named after the Morse family, so I think that they live right there. She has pieces... Okay, hold on. Sorry, I gotta go back. She wrote what her grandkids did day to day. She has pieces of her being present, but not her own thoughts. Yeah. Okay, I taught school. Stayed all night at H.W. Towns. I have a feeling we're about to see the same entry like 3 times. But that's okay. I can just copy it now. She must be pretty busy. It's just same thing. Taught, went to bed. Taught, went to bed. Finally, content I can get behind. Thank you. OMG, I was about to say, wow, get it? Oh, like she's at someone else's house? Yeah. No, just a family, just a friend's, what am I talking about? A student's family member. Father. He's married. But that doesn't mean anything. I have a feeling Myrtie was a good girl. I went to Montpelier. I learned how to pronounce some of these town names. My first guess was wrong. Mr. and Mrs. H.W. Town. Oh, she went there with them. Took dinner at Mrs. H.L. Robinson's. I did some trading. Went back to H.W. Towns and stayed all night. Vermont, she's from. Yes, Myrtie was a classy woman. I wish we could, like, know more about her as a teacher. Like, was she a fun teacher or was she stern? I do not feel very well. I wish we knew what her students thought of her. She teaches music lessons and stuff. I feel like she was a fun teacher. As fun as they could be back then, but I feel like she would be warm. I am at H.W. Towns. Stayed there all night. I think she seems nice too. I taught school. Stayed all night at H.W. Towns. Okay, well, we're gonna blow through October. Same thing on the 10th. Miss Honey vibes, yeah. One time, another teacher in my school said I had Miss Honey vibes, and that was, like, the best compliment ever. I love Miss Honey. Father and I went to Montpelier to the Dewey celebration. Ooh, we'll look that up. He went home. I stayed all night. I'm a teacher too. That would be the highest praise, honestly. Yes, isn't it? Stayed all night at H.W. Towns. It is a holiday. Okay. I love Miss Honey. She's why I want to be a teacher. And then I actually like working with kids. Yes, she's a good inspiration. This is a woman named Myrtie Wheeler. We don't really know much else about her other than she lived in Vermont and she was a teacher. And we have that picture of her up in the corner. We have her diary and we're researching it. So she just was a 32-year-old woman living in Vermont in 1899. Okay, we're looking up Dewey celebration in October 1899 in Vermont. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, Dewey Day celebration. The Dewey Day celebration in Vermont occurred. Oh, cool. Was it only one time? Hello. Oh, visitor. Come on over. Say hi.
Hi.
You gotta look in the camera and say hi. You're there just see your smile, but it's okay. I think H.W. Towns is the father of the student of hers. Yes, he is. Nikki said hi. So this is cool. This must be a picture from that one day. Okay, so they staged a historic welcome home for native son Admiral George Dewey, whose success in destroying the Spanish fleet at Manila Bay during the Spanish-American War made him the nation's #1 naval hero. Dewey's exploit in the Philippines seemed to bring glory to Vermont, and it became one of the highlights of standard histories of the state. History in the making. He was married. Yes. How do you get the diaries? Does someone send them to you? Sometimes I get them on eBay. Other times people send them to me. Actually, this set, I have 3 of Myrtie's diaries. One of them I bought on eBay. Going upstairs. Bye. And the other 2 were sent to me. So those 3 came from different places. Can you make sure Claude's food? Oh, hello, Claude. Don't put him too close to my face. Famous. The famous fluff. Yeah. Just chilling. Did you eat your dinner? Okay. I don't think he likes hanging like that. Can you make sure his food came out of there? We got them a new bowl. Yeah, he looks big, but he's not. It's all fluff. Did it go through?
Yeah.
We got new gravity feeders, and their food is kind of like big. So it doesn't... This morning, Claude was begging for food. He's always begging for food, even when it's full. So I went and checked it, and it was like not coming down. I wasn't sure, but it's fine. Did it like repopulate itself?
It's fine. I mean, it will eventually once they eat it up a bit.
Yeah, but he doesn't like to eat anything on the edges. He only likes the middle. Okay, sorry, we had a Claude moment. Yeah, what does he weigh, Ian? I forget. I think he only weighs like 8 pounds. He's like so small, but his fur makes him so big. Okay, this is cool because we have pictures. So I'm assuming this must be, like, Myrtie could be in this picture. I'm gonna save this. What this is. We're reading a diary from 1899. And we're doing research about it. So if she mentions a place that she went, I look it up. If she mentions a person, we try to find them. And right now she's talking about she went to Dewey Day, which apparently was to honor a sailor, right? An admiral from the Spanish-American War. Okay, so I'm going to save that link. Let's see if we've got any more pictures. Well, this is him. We'll grab him. I put all the pictures in here. Eventually I put the diary entries in here. So I like to put any people or places that we find. And then I'll just like rearrange it later, but for now I just stick it there. Now I saw something when I was looking at just the little blurbs. Someone got in trouble for being intoxicated. Archie McMillan of Graniteville and David Pecor of Royalton were arrested as a result of too much Dewey celebration. Both paid the usual fine for intoxication. Arrested for being too drunk. Okay. Oh, I guess... was it called Dewey Day? Well, anywhere else? I'll put Dewey Celebration, but I think it was Dewey Day. Yeah, there's not really anything else. What's this? Dewey Day, a triumphant return. Wow, this is like a whole book chapter on this. Oh. Okay, zoom in. It's a big thing, huh? Okay, this is really cool, this thing. I wish she gave us more details, but she's like, yeah, I went there. Save that link. And this is a picture of his childhood home. Decorated. State House was illuminated with electric lights. An impressive sight for those unaccustomed to artificially lit buildings. What do they mean by artificially lit? In addition to electric lights on the State House, the celebration also featured a giant pyre on the hill behind the Capitol that was set on fire at nightfall. The bonfire was 60 feet high and 40 feet wide. Is that really something they want to play around with? The flames reached more than 100 feet wide, or 100 feet high when lit, and could be observed for 4 miles. Or, no, sorry, just for miles. Jeez. This is the parade. Oh, that's very cool. I'll take the picture of the parade too. Okay, and then we can keep going. I think it was impressive to those who mainly used candle and firelight. Yeah, what do they mean by artificially lit though? Like, oh, no sunlight? God forbid some guys celebrate Dewey Day. Yeah. They just got a little carried away. Do you have a particular goal with this research, or is it just for fun? It seems cool both ways. Well, eventually we like to return the diary to a descendant if we can find one. But in the moment, like day to day, the goal is just to like document it and find little tidbits. But yeah. Gave Ada Taylor a lesson. And there's a little symbol again. Music lesson, that's usually what she's talking about. I taught school. Maybe she doesn't mean music though, if it's just lesson. Maybe she tutored her. Father came after me. I went home. Father, mother, and I stayed at home all night. Wonder what they do at home all night. Do they play games? Do they just sit there? Mother and I washed. I helped about the housework. Father raked leaves together. We all stayed at home all night. October 15th. Father, mother, and I about home. We stayed at home all night. I helped about the housework. Typical day. Typical Sunday. Honestly, same, Myrtie. Father carried me to my school. I taught school. Stayed all night at H.W. Towns. I wish we had a picture of him, but we don't. We do have a picture of her school. I've showed it a few times today, but that's her school. And one of her students, probably. That's cute to think about. October 17th. I taught school. Miss Leonard visited school. Stayed all night at H.W. Towns. Oh, is Leonard one of the last names of one of her students that we had in here? Looks familiar. No. This isn't from that year anyways, but I wonder who Miss Leonard is. We could look and see if she's someone visiting from, like, I don't know, maybe she's noteworthy, but there was one time that someone came and did, like, preached at the school, and he was in the newspaper, so we'll look. Washington County, Vermont. I don't know if I should be more specific. Wedding. Miss Leonard visited school. Maybe we'll just look more this way. L.L. Leonard. Leonard Newton. Okay. No, well, that would be a man. Okay, hold on. Who is Mr. Towns? Oh, no, Mr. Towns is actually one of her students' fathers. I guess it was a thing back then where teachers would, like, would have a room at one of the, like, students' families or some of their house. Like, sometimes they'd stay with their students' families, which it's a nightmare to me to think about. But Mrs. H.A. Morse visited school. Another person I taught school. Stayed all night at H.W. Towns. Now this must be just like, I sent a video of the Dewey Parade. Oh, yay! This must just be townspeople visiting. But I wonder why, because it's not something that she talks about happening a lot. I don't know if I should make this bigger or... Hold on. Hold on. Pause? Is it paused? I don't even know. Ah! I got too many windows. It clicks on the wrong thing. It's clicking on the wrong thing. I'm going to regret this because I'll have to move it back after. I wonder if her diary ever felt like venting. If she ever felt like venting. Well, she doesn't really do it, but maybe she wishes she could. I don't know. Yeah, she might have something to do with the school. I know. Towns, she doesn't put apostrophes, but I'm pretty sure their last name is Town without the S, so I add the apostrophe. Oh. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Is it? Oh, it's just taking forever. This is cool. It looks like a fake old film. When did like video even begin? Like, when were they? Teaching supervisor stops in unexpectedly. Maybe, yeah, maybe she's observing her. What do I do with what I write? I put it on my website, and then when I'm completely done reading through a diary, I share it with any family members that I come across during the research process, or like, this music is annoying, or museums that help me. I send it to them. Love your TikTok lives. It hits my history love right in the spot. Awesome. Good to hear. Thanks for being here. I know. The music is nice, but it was hard to concentrate when it was going on. Part 2. Did they change the music? Oh, new one. Name that tune. Slow going. Oh, a boat. There's Myrtie. This is crazy. My brain isn't comprehending that this is actually 1899. And that these little, like, artifacts on the film are real. So I know that there's, like, old videos, I love watching them, of New York, like the streets of New York, where people are walking by. When did video cameras, when was video film? First motion picture camera, 1888. Yeah, that's what I was trying to think. Motion picture. First successful video camera. Okay, so this is probably just like, well, a video is just multiple frames, one after the other, but yeah, I guess, I don't know. I would think 1899 would be too early, but for just a casual video, I guess it's not casual because it's a big event, right? But it's pretty cool. Definitely few and far between. Look at the horses. Let's see, do we got a part 3? Hello. I find a lot of cool stuff in the walls and newspapers from 1920. In the walls? Maybe looking up James Henry White and Edison Studios would answer more. Yeah, that's who did this one. That's true. That would be amazing if we found Myrtie. Imagine she gets up in front of the camera like... Hello, Corinne. How are you doing? Okay, well, there's the parade. I'm saving that. Thank you. I'm just going to drop the link in for now, and I will make it pretty later. Okay, now I have to fix my screen. I can still see it, actually. I had it, or... I'm clicking, and I think I'm clicking on that thing, but it's the other one. Here. Did I shrink it? What did I do? Why does it seem like it's fine? Or was it further down? It was like that. I don't know. Anyways. Yeah, this is research just for fun. Her diary is, well, it's 365 days long, but it's very small. All of these pages are small and, yeah, I don't know how many pages total, but each page has 3 days on it. Okay. yeah, I don't know. This is working for now, right? Let me know if you can't see something and I'll fix it, but the additions to my house make me laugh. Like, where was the kitchen before the addition? I love thinking about that. Like, old houses that have been added on to. I love going into an old house and looking around and seeing, like, oh, this was the original part of the house and they added that on. My friend lives in a very old house, like from 1710. And there's so much history in that house. It's really cool. Festive Raccoon, hello. She teaches in Calais, Vermont. Yeah, it's crazy. It's an old house. And there's like, it's so old that there's the main part. And then she says that it's not haunted. Other people think it is. The house is creepy because it's old and it's drafty and it's like, she's like fixing it up. It's been neglected, certain parts of it, for a while. I'm not like one who particularly feels like if a place is haunted or not, but it didn't feel haunted to me, at least not in like a bad way, you know? It didn't feel like creepy, but I wasn't there at night, so I don't know. So old, even the ghosts were like, yeah, we're good. Yeah, it's crazy. So the house, the original part is like 1710, I think. And then there's another section that is like an L shape that they added on to. And that's like, it's funny, it's the new part, but it's like from 18 something, like it's not new. And then there's another section. I don't know actually if there's part of the house that's kind of like not, they don't go in there right now for the really old part because they're fixing it. But the newer part, I don't know if it's an additional newer part or if it's the 1800s part that she lives in, but that part is like more renovated and stuff, so it's almost like a little apartment, and then the main house right now is just like under construction, but it's pretty crazy. And then there's another one of my friends who lives in like Western Mass, and their house, the same thing. It's an old house. The basement, oh my God, the basement of the 1700s house is like scary. There's a giant oven, which they think was for like bread or something. I don't know. Or maybe it was just to heat the house, but it's like huge brick oven in the middle. And it goes all the way up like the chimney through the house. But anyways, the one in Western Mass, their house has like a fieldstone basement in part of the house. And then you can clearly see like what the newer part, where it starts, because it's a totally different type of construction. It's just so interesting. I love old floors. I love houses with old floors. My house is from the 50s, so it's not like the same. I wish she had editorialized more in her diaries. She's so bullet pointed. I know she is. She just gives us like boom, boom, boom. I need to go to the library for my house. I can't find anything online. Yeah, your town's library might have some good stuff. I did some research on my parents' house, not directly on their house, but on their property. And it was really cool. I ended up finding some stuff in the library that I couldn't find online, old maps and stuff. And it was neat because I was trying to figure out, there's an old farm trash pit, like a bottle dump in the woods that I used to dig through a lot. And I keep thinking about it. I need to go back, but now it's winter. But I wanted to figure out whose it was, and through a lot of research, I think I did find out whose it was. And it wasn't the original person I thought. There's one person who the street is named after him. And on the map, he's, you know, his family's listed around that time period on that road. But then I found another, like a piece of something that had a name on it. It was etched into it. It was very cool. It was like a metal name tag that had someone's name on it. And I looked them up and did some research and figured out who he was. And then I determined that it actually was not the guy the street names after. The street is named after. It was somebody else. My whole neighborhood is old and one of the oldest houses. That's fun. Probably a lot more work though, right? I would love an old house, but honestly, this one from the 50s is like enough of like surprise work that needs to be done. And it really hasn't been much, but it's just like, ugh. We just redid the bathroom, and it was like one thing after the other that wasn't standard or needed to be replaced, but now doesn't fit the new stuff and like things like that. So I'm sure that's like triple the amount of work for an old house. Okay. Mrs. H.A. Morse visited school. I taught school. Stayed all night at H.W. Towns. Done. Okay. Yeah, and it probably feels like you finally get finished with something and then something else comes up. The ghosts are cool. I want to hear more about the ghosts. I taught school. Stayed. I've always been fascinated with ghosts. This one's a little blurry, this picture. No, H.W. Towns, he sounds like a boarding house, doesn't it? It's one of her students' fathers. So one of her students' families she stays with on some weekdays. Father came after me. I gave Ada Taylor. Oh, and look, another symbol. She writes those on the days that she does music lessons. I gave Ada Taylor a music lesson. I don't know what they mean, but they're always a little different. Father, mother, and I stayed at home all night. These look like little dashes. Sometimes it's a circle, but I don't know like what it corresponds to about the music lesson. I ironed some. Do not feel very well. Poor thing's always sick. Father cleaned an organ at Will Shepherd's. He, mother, and I stayed at home all night. Way too many stories to tell. Multiple people. Ooh, you just gave me the chills. Staying over here dancing on the second floor like tap dancing. Ugh. That would freak me out. I've had a couple of experiences. Nothing like too scary, more like comforting. So that's lucky because that's ugh. I guess it's not like unfriendly, but father, mother, and I stayed at home. I always loved watching ghost hunters and shows like that. I do not feel very well. We all stayed at home all night. A couple of years ago, I went to go see a medium, and they did say that the people from the diary were all there, all the different diaries. We weren't reading Myrtie's at the time, but she said, yeah, there's like a bunch of people here, and it's weird because they're not related to you, but they say that they know you, and it was cool. 125 years of life on this property, bound to be something. Yeah, we must hear more. I've had stuff happen too. Yeah, I want to hear more. You can just send little tidbits in the chat while we're going. So yeah, I mean, I'm like half a skeptic and half like I want to believe it, and then like my brain is like, oh no, like there's some catch, you know? So it is true that I have a semi-online presence, and if somebody knew my name and looked it up, you would see things about the diaries that I read, and you'd like get some hints. So if someone really wanted to like trick me and looked it up, I guess, yeah, there's information that they could like piece those things together. But there was another thing that she said that like, I'm not going to get too into it because it was like a family member that the reason why I went to go see her. This just came up. I wasn't expecting her to bring up the diary stuff. But something that she said about the person that I went there for was like, I know everybody says this, but it was like so spot on that like there's absolutely no way. And when I tell you there's absolutely no way, like there is no information anywhere online that was this detailed. She gave a detailed description of that person's entire like last few years, like the health issues and like things that I saw and things, you know, it was like terrifying in a good way. It was like really weird how specific. My phone died. I turned my TV off and walked upstairs, got to the top and heard a hey and a male voice loud. No! That's so scary. Thought you were alive and thought it was a late stream because of how dark. I know! It was dark when I left work today. I left a little bit late, but still, it was like 4:30. I know. Yeah, so the reason why I would be more skeptical of this person if the only thing she said was the diary stuff, but the things she said to me about the other part, there's no way she could have like figured that out by even like I don't even think a lot of people. I don't know. Like, I just haven't even spoken a lot of those things. And it was crazy. So that's why I give her credit. Did she have your name? Yes. And that's why, like, if she hadn't said the other stuff, I would have said, yeah, she probably just looked it up online. But I don't know. I want to go back soon. I've been, like, feeling the itch. My grandma also heard someone walk up to my wood stairs, but didn't hear the creak. I'm obsessed with this woman. I have no idea who she is. Same. Yeah, I've been wanting to go back. I don't go often. It was only, like, I've been to a couple of mediums, but I didn't have a good experience at one of them. And then this one, she was really nice. And it was, like, crazy, everything she knew. I forget what I was going to say. But when I was going, I was feeling like, oh, should I, like, withhold my name or, like, lie about my name to make sure? But that feels, like, icky. I don't know. It's weird. Like, it feels like I'm trying to catch them, but it's also, like, don't you want to know if something is actually just coming to them, or if I don't know. I'm fascinated by the paranormal and all that stuff, but I've never done anything myself. Yeah, that's the only thing I've done is gone to a medium. Okay, I taught school. Stayed all night at Frank Fuller's. I'm restoring my beautiful 1900 on the dot house to its original glory without the modern tacky. I love that. Love it. There's so many details in houses like that that just don't exist anymore. So many little, like, hope the ghosts like it. I think they will. I think they'll appreciate it more than if you just, like, slapped on a bunch of white paint over everything and flipped it. I've seen so much of that because we looked for a while to buy a house and we saw a lot, like a big range, mostly older stuff because of our price range. Like, we didn't see anything brand new, but you know, like, our house is 1950s. We saw a lot of those. There were a lot of, like, this size house built in that time, so that's why we saw a lot of these around this area. And some that were a lot older, and a lot of them that were a lot older, like 1920, 1930, they just, like, just painted over it's like, yeah, layers of white paint, yeah. I mean, I can't say that I don't paint some things white just to cover up scratches and stuff, but, like, it's just sad when it's the whole house. And when it has charm. Like, there's a certain time period that I feel like scratched up stuff is charming. My house, it's not as charming because it's not exactly that old, you know? Those older houses have good bones. Yes. And even, I feel like our house has good bones. That's what the home inspector said. You're really not the whole house trim and everything? Yeah, I know. Like, hinges, windows, trim, everything. Yeah, I would love an old Victorian house, but I don't think I'll ever get there because when we do someday, hopefully, move into a bigger house, I don't know if I'll want a house that needs so much work. We did actually almost buy, I'm, like, glad it didn't work out. We almost bought this is crazy, a church that someone had already renovated part of the church to be a house. It was like a church from the 1880s or something. It was, like, crazy. Or they didn't know exactly the date. Because I remember trying to figure out, doing research on it. It was like, they didn't know when it was built, but it was old. And we were the second, there were only, like, 2 offers on it. I'm glad we didn't get it, though, because, yeah, I know, guaranteed it was haunted. The basement felt haunted. I have to say, the basement felt creepy. And I did tell Ian, I'm like later on when we were in this house, I'm like, yeah, I'm glad we didn't get that house, because I feel like he goes away for work sometimes, and I know I would feel scared in that house by myself. The part that was renovated it felt totally modern. It almost didn't even feel like you were in a church. And then there was a whole nother section, like where I guess you'd call it like the sanctuary of the church. It was pretty cool, actually. It was just like all open. They like redid the whole thing with steel beams, and it was just a giant garage, basically. But it was very like that. There were big stained glass windows in that part, which were beautiful, but they would need to be fixed. Like there were a couple of parts that were broken, and I was so excited for an old house. Then bam, everything broke. Yeah, that would have been, it would have been a money pit for sure. Like imagine it had a freaking steeple. Like imagine the wind we've been getting the past couple of years, the storms, having to hire somebody to go like re-shingle your steeple. That's not a quick repair. That's like $3,000, $5,000, like crazy. So if you need any tips, it's your girl in the money pit. Yeah, so that house like would have been cool to say, oh, I live in an old church, and have the history behind it and get to research the history behind it. But I think that it worked out for the best that we're not in there. There was a lot of potential, but there was also a lot of potential problems. And the basement was weird. The basement was like obviously like a fieldstone basement because it's old. And they had like tried to, I think if I'm remembering right, because it was a long time ago, the walls were painted. So they must have built walls in part of it, because there were rooms down there. And the walls were like weirdly like pink. I remember one was pink and might have had wallpaper, like a child's like wallpaper, or it might have just been painted. I don't remember, but it was like one room was pink. I don't remember what the other room was, but it was just creepy. Like the floor was just concrete, I think, or stone or something. But like they had a couple of things down there, like a couple of rooms. I don't know. I wanted to fix forever as my first house, and girl, I got it. I wouldn't change it. Yeah, this house, we've done a lot to it, but it was just cosmetic. I'm glad that we didn't have to do anything structural or that intense. One of these diaries I got on eBay. I have a set of 3 written by Myrtie, so one of them was on eBay and 2 others were donated to me. All right, so I taught school. Father came home after me. I went home. He carried mother to her mother Campbell's. Ooh, I found a lot of medicine bottles. I have a lot of antiques. I wish I had my junk pile stash here. At my parents' house, their house is not old. It's like was built in the 90s, but the property, like there must have been, I don't even know where the house was originally, but the person who lived on that property had a farm, and their farm trash dump, their bottle dump, is in the woods of my parents' house. So I used to dig in there a lot, and I found a lot of stuff, and including medicine bottles, including like a lot of medicines and like syringes for animals, which is interesting. Is she saying her father literally carried her? No, her father like took her on the horse and carriage. He carried mother to her mother Campbell's today. He and I stayed at home all night. That's so cool. We had people dig up our old houses. That's cool. Yeah. Very cool. Okay. I have a Culligan water thing, but glass? I don't even know what that is. Oh, I missed some words. Okay, hold on. I'll go back. I taught school. Father came after me. I went home. He carried mother, thanks, to her mother Campbell's today. What's a Culligan water? What would I look up? Oh, like the water supplier. Oh, I don't even know. Oh, Rhode Island. I'm in Massachusetts, if that's the one you speak of. I have found, I wish I had pictures of it right now to grab, but I don't know where the pictures are. I did take pictures of a lot of what I found. Old, like cough medicine bottles, and it's cool to look up the old ads from them and stuff. I know. I wish I had them on my thing. I have a lot of videos though. If you go on my TikTok, I don't know if they're sorted at all. Let me see. I think I have them on YouTube too. It might be easier if I just go there. Oop, that was spelled wrong. No, that's taking me to a crazy thing. No, I don't trust whatever that is. I misspelled it. Okay. Am I logged in? Yeah, I am. I have a playlist, Farm Junk Pile. So I make, or I used to. It's been so long since I've actually been in there. 2 years ago. No. So, oh, we don't want an ad on my own video. I would like take videos while I was in there and show you guys what I found. Or sometimes I would pick something that I found and like do a deep dive on it. Like these were suspender clips or garter clips or something. The poison bottle, yep, I still use that to put flowers in. Cool stuff. I know, I always get the itch around this time of year, and it's like, this is when it's getting cold. Next summer I gotta go back out there, but now we're getting married next summer, so I feel like that's gonna preoccupy me. I gave Elsie Hastings a music lesson. I washed and washed my bed. Hold on. Yeah, I ended up getting a different dress. The other one was really cool, but it wouldn't have worked for August, so I ended up finding one at a consignment store. I got very lucky because it fits almost perfectly. I have to just hem it. Maybe even not, because it depends on the shoes I get. I think I'll probably still have to shorten the hem a tiny bit. I should send it to you guys though, because I do have pictures. I'll do that after the live. I'll put it on the Diary Detectives if you promise not to show Ian. Yeah, I don't know what that says. Bed. It looks like bed tickle. Bed tick? Bed. I have a lot of cool teapots now. Oh, that's cool. That's fun. Washed my bed. Light? It would have to do. What's a bed tick? Maybe that's a thing. Ugh, no, I don't think she means that. Oh wait, bed tick mattresses. A tick mattress or a bed tick is a large bag made of strong, stiff, tightly woven material. This is then filled to make a mattress with materials such as straw, chaff, horsehair. Look at the horsehair picture. It's just horse's butt. It is then filled to make mattress with materials. Oh, I already read that. Or coarse wool or down feathers, and less commonly leaves, grass, reeds, bracken, or seaweed. Ew, that probably smells so bad. Okay, that's her bed tick. Touchable museum samples illustrating a 1590s bed. Oh, wow. Okay, and The Princess and the Pea exaggerates the traditional European laying of tick mattresses. I have horsehair in my lath plaster. Got it tested for asbestos. Ian's family's house where he grew up has true horsehair plaster too. That stuff's like a pain in the butt. We have a lot of asbestos in this house. Well, we think. I don't know. Like, you know, all the tile, like the, what is it called? What's it called? Is it not laminate? Is it laminate? Linoleum. The linoleum tile in the kitchen under our tile that we have now is definitely asbestos. The popcorn ceilings upstairs, probably asbestos. We had an old furnace in here that definitely had asbestos. Asbestos shingles, yep, siding. Yum. Okay, so her bed tick is a mattress. Father is sick. He cleaned Mrs. Towns. Interesting that she spelled it different, but I'm going to say it's the same one. Clock. Mother is at her Mother Campbell's. What? It's so interesting, like, the expertise of people, and I can't figure it out. So he's a preacher, a clergyman, but he has cleaned one person's organ and he cleaned this woman's clock. So he's also a professional, or he's at least maybe not professional, but he's the guy that people call to clean out their things that have small parts. Like, I don't know. Oh, call Benjamin Wheeler. Jack of all trades. Like, he's well versed enough that people are calling him. That it's not like something anyone could do. Touch of asbestos and maybe just a dash of formaldehyde. Yeah, and lead paint. You could live in the houses that had it. Oh, you didn't know. Yeah. No. Yeah. I think asbestos is just, I think when they have asbestos insulation, you're supposed to get it abated. Like, especially in town buildings, like schools and stuff, if you're going to disturb it, you have to abate it. I remember that was a problem in my high school. And, like, if we were to remove something that had asbestos in it, there's, like, a certain way that you're supposed to, like, legally do it, I think. Yeah, don't rip up the floors. So, like, they just cover over it. It's not friable versus non-friable. Yes, friable is when it, like, can get in the air, right? So it's not an issue until it becomes dust or, like, gets disturbed. But it doesn't feel great to have it. Lead paint, though, there's also ways that you can get it abated, but it's just like they have to disclose it for every house less than 1980s, I think. You have to sign something that says there might be lead paint. She's a student or a teacher? She's a student. I mean, no, she's a teacher. Sorry. Did people stay with parents later at that age? She just never married, so I think she just stayed with her family because she never married and moved out. You're making it melt. Yeah, I found out. I didn't realize. I probably should have, like, done more research on it, but I didn't realize that I could have just tested it. My window frames, my window, like, sills, there's a few layers of paint on it, and the first few are not lead paint, but the last one is, and I definitely sanded some of that. So, I don't know how much you have to ingest to be sickened by that, but hopefully I'm okay. It was a long time ago. It's such a pain in the butt. I wasn't trying to sand it off. I was just trying to sand, because the way people painted over it over the years, they just painted over parts that were, like, chipped and stuff, so it looked bad. So I was trying to smooth it out. And then I thought, I should test this, and I did, and it was lead. Father and I at home. He is sick. He stayed at home all night. Is that something that would show up right away if you got lead poisoning, or is it, like, later on? Now I'm worried about it again. I have 125 of painting. Gotta melt it. 125 of what? Layers of paint. Mother is at her Mother Campbell's. I don't know. I don't want to find out. Yeah, I was going to, for a hot second, I was gonna strip the paint off of the wood baseboards and windows, because it would be so nice if I could bring back the original wood. But there's too many layers. It didn't work, and it would have taken me so long to scrape it. Father carried me to my school. I taught school. Ventilation is key. Stayed at H.W. Towns. All night. Father stayed at home. How do you see sick? That's crazy. I find both fun. I can't read your comment though, right? Like I can read that, but I can't read that. I find this both fun and hard to read. Yeah, it takes time. And then once you get used to the person's handwriting, it just comes. But I would pick at and eat the popcorn ceiling. No! It makes me wonder if I'll get it someday. Oh my God. My strange addiction. That's hilarious. What gross. Oh, what did it taste like? It's just a texture thing, probably. Father stayed at home, alone all night. Poor father. Mother is at her mother. C's. That's the first time she's called her mother C. All right, one more day of October, and then I actually don't have pictures of November, so we're gonna have to end there. My grandma's house. It's not old, but when was it built? Like 80s. And her walls going down into the basement, and it's a finished basement, half finished, but like the stairs and the walls and that part it's finished. The walls are textured, but not like just, gently textured. They actually are like painful to touch, like they're spiky. And it's really rough. And when you walk down the stairs, I remember I used to always like drag my hand down the wall and just like, it would like actually, it could cut you. Like it was so rough. I don't know what the purpose of that was. I've never seen that in any other house that I've been in. I've seen textured walls definitely, but not like that. And just so strange. If anyone knows why, let me know. Like, what is the purpose of such rough texture on a wall? I can see on a ceiling because you're not touching the ceiling. But if you fell down the stairs and you like grazed the wall, you'd literally like rip your skin off. A horrible time to clean it. Yeah, I know. It is like hostile architecture. We had some of them and it was to cover imperfections, I believe, and cheap. Yeah. I'm telling you, it was like sandpaper, but worse. Like not uniform. Like sandpaper is just all the same roughness. This was like, there were like parts that kind of not stuck out a lot, but a little bit. Like a popcorn ceiling, but maybe it is just the same as a popcorn ceiling, but I've never like rubbed my hand against a popcorn ceiling. So maybe it's just because I could touch it. I felt like it was more rough than that, but I don't know. It was like weird. Yeah, to cover imperfections. I know that's why they do that on the ceiling, right? But honestly, I say popcorn ceiling, but it was my brother's wall. You're like, yeah, I sound less crazy. I was picturing like, how did he get up and like pick the ceiling? Very committed to trying that good popcorn. His room was added later, probably cheap too. Yeah, maybe to drywall properly. I know that's like really annoying to sand and stuff. So maybe if they do it this way, it's like they don't have to do all of that and it looks intentional. But like, man, I have my grandmother's diaries from 1930. That's cool. I wish I had someone from my family's diaries. That's very special. Stayed all night at H.W. Towns. Okay, so we're done with entries for today. There were a couple of things that we looked up and found. Was there anything else that we should research before I go? Not really like many new people were mentioned. I feel like we've seen Frank Fuller in this diary before. Yeah, they took dinner at Frank Fuller's in July and February. Did we ever find a picture of him or anything? I don't know if we looked. I must have looked on the Flickr site that we have been searching on. Carrie Brown, Mary Fuller. Mary Fuller might be Frank Fuller's wife. Mary Fuller Wheelock. Oh. Or maybe his sister. She married into the Wheelock family. Look at all these people. Just hanging out. Only question is, do we have lead? Do we all have lead and asbestos poisoning? I know. Sometimes I feel like I do. Or something else, like microplastics. Like, we're going to have some other version of that when we're old. Okay, let's try to find Frank Fuller. Is this the best place to look? Yeah, we are all poisoned, definitely. I don't know when he died or when he was born, but let's see if he's buried in Calais. Or not East, just regular. Okay, that's probably too narrow. We'll look him up like this. This was James Martin. I was looking him up earlier. I definitely have a plastic spoon in my brain. You eat those too? Frank Fuller. I don't know. Okay, any event? I guess I'll put like 1900 because that means maybe a census will come up from then. Frank E. Fuller. 1900 census. Okay. Let's see. Ida, Frank, Mabel, Mary. Let's see if she ever mentions. Okay. Go back to the first mention. Frank Fuller. No other person. Sylvester Fuller. Not who we're talking about. Mrs. Sylvester Fuller. Frank Fuller. Frank Fuller. Frank Fuller. Okay, no other clues. Yeah, I don't know. I'm guessing there's probably one Frank Fuller, unless there's like his dad or his son also, but is there a picture? I believe he was married to Mary Wheelock. Frank Floyd Fuller. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Like, this probably isn't him. I love finding pictures of people. Maybe in his obituary. Why is it doing that? Hold on. Okay. No. Oh, that's his wife. Oh, Ida. He died in 1934. Okay, maybe this. In the future, no one will have trouble finding our pictures. I know, seriously. My dog's name was Ida when we adopted her. She's Winnie now. Cute. Do I ever feel like it's invasive reading these things? Not often, because they don't share a lot of like deep, dark secrets or feelings. It's very to the point, and it's very like, I did this today. This person came over. I stayed at home. You know, like, there's not really a lot that feels like it should be private. I guess sometimes if you think too hard about it, it's like, oh yeah, we're reading someone's diary, but she's not giving us anything juicy. And most of the diaries that we've read, there's not really anything happening that's too crazy. Have you ever discovered crazy stuff like dad cheated on mom? No. we've read some like pretty funny, I don't know if funny is the right word, but like just wild entries, but nothing like super telling like that. Like not like, oh, I just found out this crazy thing. There's not a lot of that. I think how we write diaries has changed a lot, definitely, because a lot of the diaries that we read, most of them from even the one that I read from 1917, like she goes into a lot of her like not even feelings, but just telling about like boys who are trying to marry her and stuff, like things like that. So it's more interesting. There's more like social commentary, but even then she's not writing about like, oh, I just head over heels for this guy or anything like that. It's not like a place to pour out your feelings. It's a place to write like what the temperature was that day. Things like that. There's no picture of him here. Yeah, I don't know. Public member stories. Oh. What? If it's public, I should be able to see it. No. No. Go back. Where did that go? Here. What if I did it like that? Oh. Oh, Ellis. Ellis is a name in Myrtie's family. I did. Ugh. Getting tired. She's got a lot of excerpts from different diaries. Yes. Yeah, one of the craziest entries that we read was a diary entry that detailed the guy who wrote the diary worked for the railroad. And one time when he was on a trip on one of the trains for work, the train hit somebody. And he like drew a picture of the body, a diagram. He was an engineer and he was very like, as we learned reading his diaries later, he was very like to the point and no nonsense. And yeah, he drew a picture of like a diagram with the head and where the legs were pointed. And it was like, what the heck? I could show you. It's Ralph Slippy. I have to like look for it in my drive. And it was 1901. I want just well, I can find it actually. No, that's all like random. Okay. It is in here. A stick figure, yes. There's Ralph. A stick figure showing where his sticks landed. So that's the poor guy, the farmer who got struck by the train. And those are the train tracks. And those are his legs. Because he described in I guess they didn't have therapy back then. He described in the entry that the guy's legs were pointing north, I think. North. Or I don't know if his legs are pointing north or if he was 30 feet north of the track, but either way. Feet pointing towards track. That's the guy. And then that's what he really looked like. It's just horrifying. So that was one of the craziest entries. And that was like one of the first. It was January 10th. And it was the first diary that we were reading of Ralph's. So that was how we got to know him. There were a lot of pictures that we found for that one. A lot of talking about railroads, and we learned a lot about railroads. Yeah, poor Nelson. You learn a lot about random things when you read diaries like this. All right. I think that's it for tonight. So next week we're going to read November. I do have to I think I should be on next Thursday, unless something changes with work. There's a meeting that hasn't been scheduled yet. So I don't know if I'll be, if it's on a Thursday, I gotta go and I'll let you guys know, but I have a feeling it's not gonna be next week. Why were they carried to school to teach? Her dad drove her, basically, in the horse and buggy. She says, in a carriage, yes. I should say it like that because that kind of explains why it's called, why she says carry, but. All right. So, I'll see you guys. Yes, we are still doing a video meeting on Monday. We should. Maybe we can do more Myrtie research if we have enough to look up. I'm sure we can find something to dig into. And then if you guys have anything to bring, feel free. All right. So, yeah, I'm glad you found me too. Thanks for coming. I'll see you guys next week on Thursday at 6. Yeah, I know. We need to do the letters. I haven't taken more pictures of it. I just feel so overwhelmed by those letters. Trying to catch up with reading them all that have been transcribed is like a nightmare. Because I need like hours, but I'm overwhelmed by how much it is to do and how much there is to keep track of. But we can talk about it more. All right. My niece wants me to play Fortnite with her. Well, you must go. I'm going to try to play a little Stardew Valley tonight. I love that game. That's my new favorite game. All right. Good night, everybody. See you next time. And for Diary Detectives, see you on Monday. Good night.